Hello Australia, hello Dedece, it's Tom Dixon here. I'm in Milan, in the Rotonda della Bisana, which is a 17th century plague pit. And we've done the best of making it into a temporary restaurant.
Tom, star piece for this year's collection?
This year has been a year of consolidation, of trying to finish off some of the work we've been doing over the last couple of years. So you're seeing a lot of families of lights being finished, for instance. So the melt light, which was just a pendant last year, now comes as a table lamp and a floor lamp. You're seeing the copper ball, which has always been our best-selling item, suddenly finding itself with a couple of siblings, you know, a squashed one and a stretched one as well, which is well overdue, if you like. Some more experiments in metallization, so fade lamp, which is an exercise in quite high-tech vacuum metallizing, which is the way that we get the metallic finish on these lamps. A lot of adventures in accessories, as usual. So we've got curve lamp as well, which is a new finish and a new adventure in the etching field. We've been doing a lot of products in etch lamp, obviously, is one of those, where you know, the play of luminosity by filtering the light has been a big thing, and this is a new, much more advanced bit of metal folding and etching, where we've used this very soft silver to also reflect the light internally.
When you're designing products, when you're thinking about how to extend on families, is it driven heavily by the fact of Americans love to drink, love cocktails, let's develop all of that side? Do you think like that when you design, or do you think it's more of I love a good cocktail shaker?
No, I don't think that it's completely cynical in that sense. I mean, there's lots and lots of things that American customers might do that we might not design into, right? But when there's a story that feels comfortable, so we started off with a cocktail shaker. You know, we have a cocktail waiter in the restaurant. It's not called a waiter, is it? It's cocktail. It's a barman, a cocktail maestro in the restaurant in London. And so we have a proximity with it, and we feel that we can have an attitude to it. So you look at what people are producing in cocktails, it's either Art Deco style or it's industrial stainless steel, and you just feel, well, there's something we could do here. And so, of course, there's got to be a market, but I don't think that's the primary consideration. It's more where we feel we can have an impact either stylistically or functionally and do something different from other people. And it's also bred partly by success. So if the shaker's successful, you just think, right, okay, this could become, you know, an extended family of objects. And that's what's happened with the cocktails. It's that, you know, you think, right, okay, there's some interesting typology there, ice tongs and ice buckets and Moscow Mule mugs, and you know, and there's a kind of narrative as well, which is to do with James Bond and martini drinking, and which is quite British. And then on top of that, we had this odd interior design project in Atlanta, Georgia, which is a speakeasy. So it's a secret bar where you have to have your retina scanned before you're allowed entry into this bar. And when you get in, it's kind of an American speakeasy style, but it's run by a Japanese barman, right? And so we learned a lot in that process of designing the whole interior. And then the consequences of that is us getting a bit more interested in how people drink in America, yeah? So, you know, there is, you know, clearly there's no point in making things if people are not going to buy them. But at the same time, the process of developing stuff really doesn't come from the commerce first. It comes where we see an opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Let's jump back to the product that's on display here today. Things like, for example, that chair that you're sitting on, the beautiful wingback.
Obviously, the wingback's been around for a long time. We re-engineered it last year, brought down the price again, and by sticking a load of Icelandic black sheep fur on it, we've made it really expensive again. But I think, you know, it's kind of interesting how transformational just a textile can be on an object, right? And in a way, this is although it's more of a fantasy piece, if you like, it's got a lot of interest and a lot of comments just because it's completely ridiculous. And sometimes I guess maybe possibly we get too practical, and there is an element of fantasy and fun that is always good to remind yourself is worth doing, right?
So what's the concept of bringing people to this space to eat?
When you come to Milan, if you ever get the chance, it's like the carnival of design. 400,000 people come from all over the world. They're really where it used to be a wholesale business-to-business furniture fair, quite serious, mainly Italian. It's now become the international carnival of design. It's like a circus. People are thrill-seeking. They're looking for immediate sensations. And what I always liked about Italy myself was the way that they enjoy life, how they slow down quite a lot, how they enjoy food and architecture and the rest of it. And it felt like Milan needed a bit of that. Because it's so relentless. If you're there working, it's a hell of a lot of appointments and things to see and meetings to have. If you're here for fun, there's many parties and also a lot of distance to cover to get to the next amazing show. And here what we've managed to do, because it's such a calm space and because we've provided, effectively a huge restaurant space, people can sit down, they can relax, they can revitalize and they can also enjoy this kind of amazing early Baroque architecture. Actually, it's late Baroque, just saying.
We've actually noticed that on top of these pillars, these fantastic skulls.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely.
Well, it's a plague pit, So underneath here is 200,000 skeletons from the plague in the 17th century.
I kind of want to leave this space now. I saw something recently where you were doing a housing project.
The prefabricated housing project is great because it's so easy to get pigeonholed as being somebody who makes chairs or somebody that makes lamps, and it's happened to me often in my life is that you get pigeonholed, so people never really offer you anything else. So I've been dabbling in architecture anyway. I did a private house for a client in the south of France. I've been doing my own home, a folly in London, and this is really a more modern way of making houses, so prefabricated shacks. So we've made a cube which you can stack up or extend that way for a Filipino property magnate. And within the luck, we'll start seeing that being built. So it's kind of nice to work on macro scales and the opposite in small products, but also on the outside, the shell of the space.
Like many architects, when you're working on your own house, was that the hardest project?
Well, the spaces I'm doing are defined really by an old industrial building that already exists. So it's actually quite good fun. I don't find it hard at all.
Tom, thanks for the chat today.
Pleasure.
And I hope it all goes very well for you this year. I'm sure it will.
Thank you.
Man of many talents.
All right.